What can CITE do for you? The Center for Innovation and Technology offers a business opportunity to engage directly with your market online. We also offer media training workshops, live streaming, documentary production, and events management. For more information, visit our website and social media platforms. Don't forget to like, comment, and share. With CITE, you'll never miss a thing.
I think there's no need to delay at all, so I'll ask you, Marketa, to kick us off. Let's get started.
Salwana. Ngiyaxolisa ukufuza bengiseklasi. La bengibacela ukuthi ngona siqede masinya. Supposed to finish it. So bilamacala both sides ngapha la ngale, but hopefully izaqolela. Engizathanda ukwenza namhla is I'm not going to so much as give any impendulo, but as so much as to and to ask questions that we need to think about. Okay. The first one being when we talk about national healing, what are we talking about? What needs to be healed? And does it need to heal? So that's the first question I would like to just leave there for now. And secondly, the other one, okay, maybe the next statement I would like to say, because of the iskhathi sangikhona silutshwana. Let me just say, we talk about national healing. For me, national healing is a strange concept that's engakajayeleki kakhulu, because I'm still trying to figure out how does a country hurt. I can understand the community. I can understand community healing because that's the level that I'm working at. Okay, what is necessary for national healing is different from what is necessary for community healing, which is also different from what individuals need. Okay. Uhlupho with political violence is that it is directed at an individual, but the impact is felt beyond the individual. The idea of political violence is not umuntu oyedwa obuhlungu, but it is about making a statement to the whole community. So it might be a father who has been brutalized, but the message is going to the family. It is also going to the community, because it is attacking those structures that are our safety net in a community. Okay, sonke obaba sibakhangela phezulu ngisho, never mind omama, we put them even higher than obaba. So if somebody attacks your father, attacks your mother, what they're basically doing is they are destroying what you know as things that give you safety. Kuyafana lo muntu endlini. For a number of weeks you feel unsafe because indlu yakho is the most, or let me put it, is the safest place in as far as you are concerned. Nxa usendlini yakho awukhathali ngalutho. Okay, you don't expect someone to attack you in your house. All right. So we therefore feel the pain differently. How we might actually go through the same event, kodwa indlela esithinta ngayo iyehluka depending on a number of things. One of them has to do with our makeup. Enye yankhona has to do with usuhlubuluzwe kangaki. Enye yankhona has to do with ukuhlukuluzwa kwakho, does it have a meaning or not? So for instance, uMandela went to prison for 27 years. He came out, he was strong. I know a young man, he was about 16 at the time. Wathathwa wahambiswa eJombele, wahanjiswa a camp where abantu were being held. He wasn't tortured. But every morning, he could hear abantu being tortured. Okay. He came to us many years, almost like maybe many years after the event. Umbuzo wayelayo ukuthi Ngwenya, why? Why did this happen to me? Okay, remember, he wasn't tortured. Yes, he spent a week environment le. But his suffering was meaningless because he had no idea about what was going on. He was not even a member of ZAPU or ZIPRA, or did he know any political conscience at that time. So his suffering was meaningless. So for someone like that, how you experience a violence or how you react to a violence is different from somebody who knows why they're suffering. Having said that, I've said abantu they heal differently. So another thing, which think abantu they heal differently. What I mean by that, which what heals one person might not necessarily be healing to the other person. So it is important for people to be allowed to heal the way that they heal, that they feel can heal them. Okay, I am a Christian, but I work with people who are not Christians. And when we work with them, and when we try to help them with their amangcwaba abo emakhaya, we don't say let's pray, but we allow them to do what is meaningful to them, whatever it is. Abanye, yes, they will say we want to have a memorial service. We can provide pastors for that. Abanye will say funa ukwenza into usiko lakithi, and that's fine. It is not for us, especially us as activists. I don't really like that word. I don't consider myself as an activist. But it's special for us, for us who are in the forefront of these issues. We need to be careful not to detect how people ought to heal. That's important. For somebody, ukuthola birth certificate ekababa wakhe ekhuluma iqiniso is healing enough. They might not be very interested in the apology. Yet for somebody, the apology is very, very important. So we need to allow abantu to heal the way that they should heal. Also, people have a right not to heal. It is up to that person. We cannot force somebody to heal. Worse still, we cannot force somebody to forgive or to be reconciled. It is up to that individual. If they want to heal, fair and fine. If they don't want to heal, we can't do anything about it. All we can do is to walk along with them until perhaps they can get to a place where they think they are ready to heal. But first of all, they need to define what does healing mean. That's why I have a problem with national healing, because I have not yet defined what national healing means. I've been able to define what individual healing means. I've been able to define what community healing means. But I'm not yet at that point where I've been able to define in national healing, what exactly does it involve. La ngamanzi nje kuphela badala akulalutho phakathi. Umlomo wami uyawoma kakhulu nxa ngikhuluma. I've been talking from 9 o'clock up to now. So, when what I know about a community is there's something that we call collective and group-based emotions. Imizwa eyabantu behlangene ndawonye which they share among themselves because of a certain event that has happened to them. Okay. So in other words, I know for sure a community can be traumatized the same way an individual can be traumatized. Okay. I have not yet dealt with the nation, so I'm not going to speak about how that happens at a national level. But even then, the levels of how you heal are different. So maybe let me explain to what I mean by collective emotions, for instance. We talk about emotions that are shared by a number of individuals in a society, a large number of individuals in a society, the collective emotions. Then we've got what we call group-based emotions. And our group-based emotions are felt by individuals as a result of being a member of a certain community. Okay. So, abaneng bethu la, okay, we were given permission by the president to talk about Ground. So let's talk about Ground for a minute. There's a lot of us that actually did not experience Ground directly, or even some of our family members who were not affected. However, because the community that you come from has these feelings, you also share in those feelings. Okay? It's inexplicable. You cannot explain it. But because you belong to a particular community, you share those feelings with your community. Take us, for instance. Yes, Ubaba Mdala during his Ground, was beaten up a bit, but we didn't have a loss. Our biggest loss for my family direct was during the War of Liberation. We lost everything. And as a result of that, we didn't go back. There was nothing to go back to. Okay. So for me, that was my loss, and that was my family's loss. However, what I feel more keenly is the pain of Kukurawundu than I feel that one. Because predominantly, the society that I live in, that's the pain that they're feeling. So I share in that pain. So even if but the fact that you live in that community, it affects you as well. I know I have friends that have come from Mashonaland and have settled here, and we have made them glorified in Ndebeles. They also feel the same because they become immersed in that community. They share the pain simply by being part of that community. Now, the problem violence that is identity-based, like Ukrawundi was, or like what happened in Rwanda. Okay. The aim, what we feel most is that idea we were almost wiped out. And that's what the anger is all about. These people wanted to wipe us out. So that means that your very existence was threatened. Even though you were never in any danger of any form. But the fact that your community was threatened that much, to the extent that your identity, or you almost felt like you were losing your identity. There's nothing so important than your identity. The reason why I insist on being called Maqeda is because Ngwenya is common, everybody's Ngwenya. But I want my identity to be known. So if you want to know me, ungatoka Maqeda, then sungazi. But ngaponguti Ngwenya, I think about Dalaba was doing it on. Ngaponguti Ngwenya, that's almost meaningless. Ngabongwenya baneng. Kefana nalani. Usually, longela, you always say Lengamandebele, especially when you are in Harare. But when you are here, you say you are not in Ndebele, you are Kalang, Kumbe, you are Sotho. That's your identity. Okay, it's always important to okay, these things happen. I think that's just how we're made. We thrive on identity. Okay, we derive our being. I hope I'm not going too deep. We derive our being from our identity. Because of our identity. And if somebody wants to destroy your identity, in essence, they're destroying you, njengomuntu, because they're taking away something that brings about your own existence. A few other things, and then I'll sit down. In a community, ebantwini, we have what we call chosen traumas and chosen glory. What basically that means, when a community has gone through pain, there's things that they choose to identify with. And those things are things that make them great. And the other things, they choose the pain to identify with. Okay, so chosen glory, for instance, for most people in Matabeleland, is from what I hear, it's around the fact that Umzile was a great leader. Okay, so that's one of our chosen glories as abantu bangapha. And our biggest chosen trauma is Kukrawundi. But that's not to say Kukrawundi was the only thing that happened to us. There are other things that happened to us, but we have chosen to identify. That's one of our chosen traumas, Kukrawundi. Perhaps because of its magnitude. Having said all those things, maybe let me come down to talk about the issue of healing. I think it is always possible for people to heal. I'll say again, I don't know much about national healing, so I cannot say it is possible for a nation to heal, but I do know that it is possible for a community to heal, because those are things that I participated in. What in Pindefoot? Ukusila komuntu is different from how a community heals, and that's different from how a nation heals. This is my understanding of national healing. National healing is when people choose to come together and decide, yes, we were fighting, but let's sit down and discuss about our future without necessarily killing each other. It's got nothing to do with reconciliation, because who do you reconcile with? To a certain level, it's even if it's got nothing to do with forgiveness. And by the way, it's not always necessary to forgive in order to heal. Forgiving is a sign that you have healed, but it's not necessarily that you need to forgive first before you can heal. But it is not. Forgiveness is an important element, but it is not always necessary. So for my PhD research, ngangisebenza lama Zipra ex-combatants, and we're trying to answer the question: can people heal without an official apology? And the question, the answer that we came up with was yes, no. It is possible to a certain level, but because of isimo esiphakathi kwaso, that we ended up calling it a measure of healing. Not 100% healing. And by the way, you can never heal 100%. It's not possible. Whether ufelwe umwenze njani, it's never possible to heal 100%. Okay. All you do is adjust to a new reality that you live with. And we call it a new normal. So, that's at national level. It's got to do with the issue of rule of law. It's got to do with just laws, etc. We start talking about issues of forgiveness and reconciliation when we get to level, when we get to community and individual level, because now at individual level, it's personal. At community, at societal level, it is communal, and community is made out of people. And it is those individuals who, as they begin to heal their community. And I think that for me is more important than thriving for national healing. I hope I'm not saying that it's not important for us to be a nation in Zimbabwe. I agree with Sabelo Gacheni that there is no people called Zimbabweans right now. We have a country called Zimbabwe, but the people that live in it are not Zimbabweans. We have not yet become a nation together. Okay, we are tribal groupings by far and large, and we have not worked out through to becoming a nation. Okay. I don't think I'm speaking foreign things. Most of you don't even know some of you don't even know Harare. You have more relatives in South Africa, and you are more comfortable in South Africa than you are in Harare. Why is that? It's because we are not yet a nation. At this point in time, I'm not even talking about separation of states and all that stuff. But I'm talking about us coming to a place where we can share the same values, for instance, as a country. We have the same history. We have different histories in this country. And one side of the community, their history has always been suppressed. Okay. Now, amabhuku esikolo izapho appears in 1987. But what they did from the 50s is not there. So we need to come to a place where we can actually sit down and rewrite our history if we are going to be. So now I'm talking about, this is what I think national healing ought to be. Number one, we need to be able to write a shared history, not a history of the conqueror, but a shared history. That's important. Number two, we actually all together need to define what is a Zimbabwean. This is not, unfortunately, his past, President Robert Mugabe. But he, when asked about the foundations of this nation, he said they are based on the Zezuru concept. I think that's his 1979 book. You can read it. If you can't read it, find my thesis. You'll find the quote in there. So what we have is not a Zimbabwean state, but a Zezuru state. And I'm not trying to be controversial. So we actually then need to step back and say, what values do we share as Zimbabweans? And not try to force one tribal values over everybody else. I do know that even within the Shona grouping itself, there's problems there as well, between the Korekore, the Karangas, and the Zezuru, because of the dominance of one tribe over the other. So if we were to get national healing, then we actually need to define our values as a nation. And all of us agree, I don't mind about the name, but what is it that we share as Zimbabweans? What is a Zimbabwean, if I were to ask the question? I know what an American is. I have a rough idea about what a South African is, because Mandela took time to define that. But we have not yet defined what a Zimbabwean is. And by the way, it's not only a problem of Zimbabwe. Afghanistan has the same problem. People that are not Afghan is a tribe. So I'm a Pashtun, and the other tribes are saying, you can't call the country Afghanistan because I'm not Afghanistan. I'm not an Afghan. All right. I'm not talking about changing countries' names. But I'm just trying to make a point. Number one, it's an issue of statesmanship. Okay, nation building, as opposed to state building. Those are two different things. You can build a state, but building a nation takes a big man. with a big heart. And as far as I know, we have not yet found one, whether it's in ruling party or opposition, or those pretending to be. I have not yet found a person that actually can stand up and unite us and go above the issue of tribe, go above the issue of language or whatever, and become a statesperson. Because if I say statesman, saying some mama ngaphandle. A statesperson, if ever there's anything like that. So for me, I think yes, it is possible for us to heal, but for me, the healing of a nation is around the issue of describing, of defining who we are, and of defining the values that we share. I understand the issue of Kukrawanda. Yes, that there needs to be an apology, there needs to be all those things that need to be happen. But in and of itself, I'm not quite sure if it will bring healing. Because what if somebody stands up today and say, and life continues? There's fundamental values that we need to deal with. How do we make each other feel acceptable in this country? How can you be in Bulawayo and not feel a foreigner? How can you be in Cholocho or Bedbridge and know that your language is valued? Those, for me, are the fundamentals that begin to I don't know that that's national healing, but what I know is that those are the things that make for a strong nation. Thank you. Mina ngifuna ukubuza imbuzo kuphela. Umbuzo wokuqala. I-responsibility kabani to preserve a culture? You who belong to that culture are responsible for preserving that culture. Angitsho? I'm tempted to comment further, but let me leave it that way. So, what I'm trying to say, we can blame Singasola Stone, but umlandu ngowenu. The reason why culture is failing is because Lina, you are pliable enough. I'm trying to find enough to shift. Let me maybe so what I mean. In the room, you couldn't miss in the bell. When national law, you all change and speak that language. Whose problem is it? This is what I'm saying. Exactly. That's where the problem is. Where now you agree to wuso wena ngokwakho. I have seen abantu abasishoneni maybe coming to man eMandebele. Umntwana ke will speak isiNdebele, yes. But okwangiba sozawukhohlwa. Because of what happens endlini yangibo. Lina lenzani ezindlini zenu. The second issue, are you fighting a system or you are fighting a person? Umbuzo ukugcina. So it's fine ukuthi abantu abenu bathathwe ngamakhiwa, there's no problem. The big problem is around the issue of Sean.
Of course, it's right.
Siyabonga.